fellow patriots. This is Alex, and that is Belinda,
Hi,
and this
everyone.
is Disabled Vets Perspective. I should have done that. That's Belinda. I don't know who that is over there, but this is another episode of Inside Veterans Affairs, and we got some interesting things to go over. Uh, I'm guessing that some people are a little late getting notifications that we're alive and cooking, but I do know that others watch this after the recording, and I appreciate you too. But you got anything new and exciting, Miss Belinda? It's been a couple of
No,
weeks since we've been on together.
it had. Well, we were on last Thursday. Did we do last Thursday?
We did Tuesday show, yeah.
We did Tuesday. Yeah, see,
Um,
my days are all confused.
right.
Yeah,
So yeah,
we
well,
did
they all
Tuesday.
jumble together.
Well,
But
we
this will
have
be our
had a
first
lot of
inside.
company.
Right. I know you guys have had a lot going on.
Yeah.
DA Archer just entered the room, so good to see you. Anyway, so Ancient Drummer, welcome. Where'd you go, Belinda? I think she just dumped out. She's got to hit that little button again and come back. I didn't do it this time. I really didn't. She'll be back in just a second, but I want to go ahead and hit up these opening articles real quick while we're waiting on her. So get that little notification thing, push that, and then she'll be right back. Pete the Patriot, hey buddy, how you doing? Good to see you. Just waiting on Belinda to come right back. She either booted herself or got booted by the Russians, but we'll see here in a minute. She'll be back. Anyway, I wanted to open up with the smoke-free policy. The VA has now expanded, I would say, more than started. It says Office of Public and International Intergovernmental Affairs. That's the page that I get the information from. Let me see if she's back. Yep, and she's back. Yeah, when I had the article over there, I forget. I can't see my page to see if she's there. I don't know where you went, but that was really rude. So
I don't know where I went either.
it was a time warp. But good to have you back.
Hey.
But yeah, I was telling. I just had Pete the Patriot on Thursday, and I was talking about my channel will be known for the most glitchy on
I can
YouTube, and I'm
hear
liable
you
to go
speaking
viral.
twice.
Can you? That could be a connection thing. Yes. Hello.
How's
Echo.
that?
I'm good. I hear everything's good. Great, Dirtbag. Good to see you,
Okay,
buddy.
now it's good.
Well,
Now it's good.
okay. All right. Now, I was on the first article that I wanted to open up with. As you guys might have guessed, I'm a little bit of a tobacco connoisseur. Some people have their wine. I have my tobacco, so I like smoking. But the VA modifies smoke-free policies at healthcare facilities to include workers aimed at increasing the quality of care for veterans. That would be the non-smoking veterans, because smoking veterans want quality too. It says, as a part of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs commitment to smoke-free healthcare environment for veterans in October, the department will extend its smoke-free policies to include employees at its healthcare facilities. The following department's June 10th announcement of the new policy restricting smoking by patients, visitors, volunteers, contractors, and vendors is at its healthcare facilities. The integration of these two efforts guarantees a fully smoke-free environment for veterans. That's all well and good and all, but I think that instead of trying to force smokers to do something they don't want to do, why can't they have a smoke room or a smokehouse like they do at some of the older airports, where they had a room you go into and you can smoke it like a chimney and it doesn't bother anybody? They always got to screw
That's
with
what they
at
have at
least
RVA.
part of the population. They got a smokehouse, right?
Yeah, at ours. But it sounds like they're trying to go like civilian hospitals.
right, completely smoke free. Dangerous Freedom, good
Hmm.
to see you. Welcome. Yeah, I'm just not a big fan of it because I mean you are canceling out some of your patients, and to me it's more control. It's the thumb on the tail of the rat when you're trying to run, and they just kind of hold you down.
So who you think they're trying to cancel out?
The smokers.
You think they won't come to the VA now? You think that's what they're trying to do?
No, I just think it's more getting into personal business instead of making something where everybody can be comfortable. Because I'm going to tell you now, when I go to the VA, I am absolutely strung the hell out. I shouldn't
Right?
be, but I am, and I my crutch is my cigarettes. And damn it, if I want to go outside and I need to go outside and get some air a minute, take a smoke break, I want to be able to do that. So yeah, it's just to me not taking into consideration all of the patients. It's only taking in consideration of part of them. And I know that you are a non-smoker, and I can respect that too.
Well,
But
now
I
I
think they
am. I
need
used
to.
to smoke.
Well, that's probably why you hate me so much when I smoke. But that's all right.
H.
It's just I think everybody, I think everybody needs to be comfortable, and that's where I'll kind of leave it with that. Um, do you have the intergovernmental affairs in, right? Wow,
Pardon?
sounds like the call to prayer.
Right, that's my
Next year,
mother.
if you don't get the real ID DABP, you will not be allowed in the VA or any other federal building.
What?
You talking about the hard ID card? This is DA Archer. He says next year, if you don't get the real ID, you will not be allowed in the VA or any other federal building. Well, I've got
Huh.
a hard ID for the VA. Florida Jim's here. Good to see you, buddy. Sandra Ann McGibbon is also here. But yeah, I have the hard ID for the VA, and I also have the retired status military ID card. So um, yeah, I don't think it'll affect me too much. McCartney Survival is good to see you, buddy. Glad you made it. Uh, History B and Warhorse. Warhorse, we're going to be talking about getting on my Thursday show in 2 weeks. So that'll be, I think that'll be fun. He just got the announcement now, so he's probably going, "What the hell?"
I am? Who, me? You talking to me?
So yeah. So did you have you looked over the news releases on the Intergovernmental Affairs, Belinda? I
No,
think you have because you read that about the Blue Water.
right. Yeah, I looked at some of them. I'm on the executive branch's website at the moment, and what I find interesting is that Trump ordered ketamine for vets, and that is a controversial antidepressant pain management uh, drug. And I tried to get into a trial for it for my leg, and I think it's gonna everything that I've heard about
Is
ketamine.
is the
It
audio cutting in and out on Belinda to everybody? Okay,
I can hear it cutting in and out.
my uh, southern clouds.
Do
Can
you want?
can you guys hear our audio? Okay.
Hello?
See, right now I'm getting it's a little bit. Warhorse says it's a little choppy, but yeah, my typical Florida boot in the ass is happening out there. The clouds settle in every time I get ready to go live. So it's the story of my life. You still there, Belinda?
I am. I am. I was just getting ready. There's a little bit of a longer lag than usual.
California Critic. Good to see you. I think I'm keeping up with everybody. Um, Belinda, I see you moving a little bit now.
Okay. You got me?
Wow. I think everybody else can hear you, but I can't. It's cutting in and out on my end, but it's my signal. It's just the garbage I got to put up with. I got a black cloud that just settled in, and we got to wait for it to pass before my signal comes clear. If you can hear me, just give me 1 second. I'll go over this next article, and I'll that way I'll give that cloud a chance to go by, and then I should be able to hear everything again. But give me 1 second here. Um, Go back to the news releases. It says VA launches Veterans Legacy Memorial to honor deceased veterans online. U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, National Cemetery Administration launches the Veterans Legacy Memorial August 14th, the country's first digital platform dedicated entirely to preservation of the memory of the 3.7 million veterans entered in the Virginia National Cemeteries. Well, I think that's a good deal. Um, it leads me right into another article about something similar. They got this one on military.com, and give it a second to open. Let me see how I'm doing on audio here. Are you still there, Belinda?
I
You can hear
am.
me?
Hmm. Can you hear me?
Hey, I heard you. I heard you.
Okay.
Oh, I heard you twice.
Okay.
No, don't whisper. I can hear you now.
You're very clear all
Yeah,
of a
it's just
sudden.
yeah, I can predict exactly when I'm going to start fuzzing out. I just look out my window to the south here, and as soon as I see a dark cloud, I know that I need to just shut up and go home because it's like every single time. And once the cloud passes, I'm good to go again. But it's the
Welcome
joy
to
of
Florida.
satellite, right? If you don't like the weather, just give it a second.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, so I just finished up that one about the recognizing veterans online, which is something that's kind of nice. The first online type memorial, but this is an Afghanistan situation. Uh, it says inside forward operating base Okab in Kabul, Afghanistan, stands a wall painted with a mural of an airman kneeling before the battlefield cross. Beneath it, a black gravestone, bookended with flowers and dangling dog tags, displays the names of 8 U.S. airmen and an American contractor killed in a horrific insider attack in Kabul International Airport in 2011. It's one of a number of such memorials, ranging from plaque memorials and concrete T walls scattered across Afghanistan for the last 8 years. Those tributes have been proof to the families of the fallen that their loved ones have not been forgotten. But with a final U.S. pullout from Afghanistan possibly imminent, those families fear the combat zone memorials may be lost for good. Now, Shauna Graphics, good to see you. Now, what do you? What is your thought on that, Belinda? What
I
would you do?
I think I would be so happy that my service member, I mean, all respect to the deceased, but this is a hostile country and make a memorial here. Is that on our base? Are we going to have control of that facility, or is this reverting back to the Afghani government? Can you hear me now?
Um, I heard of that. I just about need to cast this on another thing so I can actually hear what she says. Well, some of them are on. Well, it's a forward operating base that this one in particular they were
Are
talking
we going to
about,
maintain it?
but
Are we going to maintain that facility, or are they going to close it down?
they're talking about some that are. I need to put something. Um, I'm just having a real hard time hearing. It's really frustrating. I see just fine, but the audio's popcorn. But I think other than me, I think everybody else can hear you just fine. Um, but it's just my signal. But anyway, let's try it one more time from me. What were you saying about the? I know you said a hostile country, which is very
Right.
true.
If the memorial is going to be left there in a hostile country, hostile towards us, and I think they would destroy it because they destroy everything. If we could consolidate all of them in one facility that we're going to maintain, I think that would be the best thing to do. But I mean, they're just animals. They're going to destroy anything we leave behind.
Right. Well, my thought on it is if it's things, obviously you can't take a mural, but the plaque at the foot of the mural and the dog tags and things, you can make a duplicate of the mural, a reproduction.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh,
Gazooks
God
me.
bless you.
You can make a reproduction and you can put the memorial anywhere you want. You can put it on the National Mall in D.C. It's not a matter of the soldiers are not buried at these memorials. These memorials
Exactly.
are for the benefit of the people that serve with them so that they can keep them in their minds and thought all the time. But the thought is what needs to be moved, and the plaque that they spent money on to thank you, yes, Ruby. Bless you, yes. Um, yeah, it's. I think there's things they can do. I think they're kind of making a deal out of it that's probably a little out of proportion.
So
But
do I. So do I.
anyway, so
Uh,
I can agree with that. Um,
yeah, I mean, I
so what do you
respect
have
all
for
of
us tonight? Because those are the two headlines from Intergovernmental Affairs I wanted to bring up. Well, this one was military.com. I've got a couple more, but I'll get into those in a little bit.
Um, what I
But
find interesting right now is that the services are failing to track base access. You remember when we had the shooting by that Muslim on a base a couple years ago,
yeah,
and they
down
were
in
supposed
Texas, I
to
think.
really. I don't remember where it was, and they were supposed to really crack down and protect our service
Uh,
members while they're working on the base. Well, after an investigation by the Government Accountability Office, they find out that that isn't so. And yeah, it was November 2009 when Hassan shot and killed 13 people and wounded 42 at Fort Hood. And all branches of the U.S. military rely on the PAC system to screen people who want to enter the installations.
it
But
was
the
at Fort Hood,
GAO,
Texas. Yeah, California
yeah,
critic. Thank you.
Fort Hood. But the GAO found that the Pentagon didn't know the extent to which the installations were using the system.
Wow.
Now I know when Randy works out on Kings Bay, where the nuclear submarines are, uh, there are so many checks and balances uh, that you're not going to get up by one of those subs. But we did have an incident where four people in their 60s were able to sneak on this base and get all
Um,
the way to the submarines and protest. So if four, and I hate to say elderly because I'm almost there, but if four older people can sneak onto that base and get to the submarines, there's something wrong. They're not, they,
um, this is going. This is going to be really interesting for me because, yeah, um, Kay is here. Good to see you. Um, believe it or not, I'm going to have to watch my own show on the rerun, which I do anyway to make sure I don't miss anything in the chat and stuff. But um, I literally have so much popcorn sound in the audio that I'm just about unable to hear you most of the time. Um, High Rollers here. Welcome. Got a couple of new names that I've seen on here, so that's cool. We're getting some new people in here. But so I don't see your movement. Are you still with me?
I am.
I'll tell you
I
what I'm going to
am.
do. It might take me just might take a second, but I'm pretty sure it won't affect Belinda's feed. So let me see if I can restart my connection and see if I can clear it up a little bit. Um, uh, have to head out for the evening. Okay, well, thank you, History B, for stopping by. 12B Georgia, good to see you. Be safe out there, History B, and we'll see you when you get back, if not before.
I don't know if anyone can hear me because I can't see the chat.
Belinda? Um, yeah, I did. It froze. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Can you
Can
hear
you
me
hear
now? Can
me?
you hear me now? Okay, good. I can.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
we're back. Uh,
Okay.
they're both breaking up bad. Warhorse says, "Yeah. How about now? Because see if it has cleared up." Okay. Sandra Ann McGibbon says 5 by 5. That's good. All right. So I needed to restart my connection. So now, so were you finished talking about the access to the base not being monitored?
Well, it's not as stringent, and the GAO didn't realize that not everyone was following the guidelines that they thought they were following. And I
Yeah.
find that disturbing. I mean, you know, I I want the contractors, the military people working on the base, all those things to be able to do their job and not have to worry about a breach. And it seems that
Right.
after such an awful thing happened in '09, that would be consistent. But if, like I said, if little old people, and I'm almost one of those, can sneak on that nuclear base and get up by those submarines, that just
Yeah,
says that we need to
that's a
do
real
something.
issue.
Yeah.
Uh, Linda, is that the people who flooded that old submarine?
No,
Um,
not that I'm
not
aware of. We don't have
sure.
any old submarines at that base. I mean, it's a fully active base in Georgia, and but they did spray paint one. They got some spray paint, and were able to get it on a nuclear submarine. I find that fascinating.
Yeah, that one's a jaw dropper. Blended whiskeys here. Good to see you. So anyway, so that's three of the deals. I had one more that I was going to bring up real quick, but then I want to get into the second half of the show where we're going to be talking again a little bit more about our quest to find events and activities for the disabled and active duty veterans, or disabled and veterans and active duty military. But this article here, it says the Army is building avatars that can fight infantry soldiers. This AI stuff. So it says infantry squads will soon experience combat training simulations that feature an enemy capable of learning soldiers' tactics and habits so that the battle is never the same twice. Army modernization, officials are counting on this type of realism for the Microsoft built integrated visual augmentation system. Easy for me to say. Good
Or the
grief.
acronym is
Uh, IVAS. So
gotcha.
we'll stick to that, but which is scheduled to be ready for fielding in the fourth quarter of fiscal 2021. So now we're going to be messing with holograms, I guess. I can't imagine robotic avatars. It has to be in a virtual environment, a screen room or whatever. Kind of reminds me of Star Trek with their hologram.
Yeah, I wonder what the benefit is that of that is going to be.
Well, I'll tell you from Urban Assault, when we went through there, they had pop up targets. And the one thing I can say immediately that would make a difference is if you go through nice and quiet on your Urban Assault training, you can hear the little motor kick in on a pop up target. You hear the whee right before it stands up. So before something moves, you're already ready and pointing. Whereas if they're talking about avatars now, um, that's a screen pop up, so you get no indication that you're about to be sniped or anything. So I could see in that part of it, it might tone the training a little bit.
More real life simulation.
Right. I mean,
I
you
thought you
have to
stopped.
react naturally and quickly.
I think I would fail miserably at that. I don't think I would be
Have you
good at
ever
that
had the
drill.
opportunity? Have you ever had the
Just on a gun
opportunity to
range,
do
not not through the
not with
military.
pop up
Just
targets?
well, they were the we paid to go through a course, but it wasn't with the military.
Oh, oh, okay. Yeah, I always had a lot of fun with that, but I'd mentioned before in the same subject that the part of that is to desensitize the soldier to making instant decisions without emotion or thought. And some of those pop up targets were pretty young. And even though I did what I had to do and I knew it was a pop up target, I always thought in the back of my head, that really sucks.
Yeah.
Because in some cases, it may be a preteen that's running at you with an RPG or something, and you fire without emotion or thought. But then afterwards, you think back and you're like, wow, that's pretty rough. But
Randy
anyway,
and
so
I
there's
have a
go ahead.
can I go? Randy and I have a dear friend that faced that situation and had to eliminate the risk, and it it has been so hard. He tried to steal a helicopter and fly home after it happened. It
Wow.
He will be changed forever. But it was truly a do or die situation. But he never recovered
Right.
from that, or hasn't yet to this date. Still hasn't recovered from that.
Yeah,
And that
I don't think that I don't see recovery. Um, I I just thank God I've never had to do it. That's just I haven't had to do it. I know that if I was in the situation, my reaction would kick in before my thought would. But I'm just glad I never had to face something like that. But
yeah.
you with at least with adults, you learn how to put things where they need to be so that you can continue to function in life without dwelling on them. It takes a little time, but you get it done. Squash's Mod Squad came in. Fred's here. Good to see you, Fred. I didn't know if you were going to make it. Actually, I think you did make it, didn't you? A little while ago. Oh, yep, there you are. Oh, okay, I knew you were here. I was just testing you. All right, so now on this, I think we are just about at the second half. Yeah, it's
I,
6:30. Look at that.
I have one other thing. Uh,
Okay.
did you hear about the bill protecting disability payments of veterans who declare bankruptcy?
No, I did not.
Uh,
Pray
he's
tell.
he Okay. 23 August, Trump signed into legislation Friday a bill that prevents debt collectors from coming after disability payments, just like they can't come after Social Security payments. And
Well, that's really good.
yeah,
That's
by
very
law,
good.
debtors are not allowed to count these benefits as disposable income, subject to seizing during bankruptcy. So they introduced
Wow.
it earlier this year by a Democrat out of Georgia, and it passed. Our disabled veterans should never be penalized for injuries they sustained in service to our country. They earned their benefits, and it's our duty to stand up for them if they fall on tough times. And this is a feel good story. I mean, not feel good that somebody had to file bankruptcy, but that they are now protected just as if they were getting, Social Security payments. And that is,
Who was the one that introduced the bill?
uh, it was by Representative Lucy McBath, Democrat, Georgia,
Wow.
and Tammy
That's
Goodwin, Democrat, Wisconsin, and John Cornyn, Republican, Texas.
wow. Don't those Democrats realize they're not supposed to do that?
Well,
I mean,
I'm
that's
just so glad that they have done this.
oh, I
This
am
is
too, but
outstanding. Yeah.
I'm amazed because the Democrats usually look for every opportunity they can to do an industrial dump on the veterans and the military. So I'm very proud of them. I'd be willing to maybe write to them and say, I think you're on the wrong team, and you need to maybe move over here to the right team. If they're acting like that, they're not very good Democrats. I'll give them that.
And he also signed an extension of the National Guard and Reservist Debt Relief Act, which offers protection during bankruptcy proceedings to members who have served at least 90 days active duty. The legislation ensures that members of the National Guard and Reserves who may earn higher pay while serving on active, wait, what? Oh, that doesn't apply. But yes, so now reservists have longer. Uh, I don't understand what debt relief is in the 90 days. I don't know how to apply it with bankruptcy, but it's a
Well,
good thing.
you can
That's
do
all I can
debt
tell. It's
relief.
a good thing.
Oh yeah, it's a very good thing. But you can do debt relief without filing bankruptcy. Debt relief usually consists of consolidation of debt, reduction of interest rate, and in some cases reduction of overall monthly payments. So you can do that without bankruptcy. It still gives you a gig on your credit score, but a lot less than a bankruptcy does.
Oh, well, good. I just didn't understand how. So I find that that's a very positive thing. And like I said,
Oh,
you
I
don't
do
want to
too.
see anybody go into bankruptcy, but now they can't take their little bit of disability pay that will never be enough, in
Right.
my opinion, for anyone that is disabled because of active duty.
Yeah, well, that's one thing I can add to that is I've heard so many times where people say, well, if you don't live beyond your means, then you wouldn't have to file bankruptcy. And I can say for personal experience that, when your means are less less than poverty by thousands, I mean, below the poverty level, you could not do it without credit. And you just sometimes you end up losing it a little bit and you have to do a restart. But it's definitely not because you're living beyond your means. It's just you're living by every means you've got. So credit is important.
Yes,
Uh,
it is. And jobs seem to are getting harder to come by in some areas of the country. And
mm-hmm.
we all have, I think, the same feelings on the economy right now.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, the Democrats are trying to crash it. They're trying to drop the stock market. That's controlled pretty much by the Fed and Federal Reserve and their cronies, the bankers. So they can pretty much close it up or shut it down anytime they feel like. And I don't like that kind of power.
Yeah,
But
no.
anyway, so we're gonna talk about. I mean, you're done about that subject with the bankruptcy,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah. I just thought that that was a good something to bring up.
Oh, I think it's a great story. This is why I like working as a team with you because I did not catch that one, so that was a good catch. Um, anyway, so you and I have both been working on trying to find a calendar of events, so to speak, uh, for disabled vets, for retired personnel, for their families, that kind of thing. For example, I get my articles a day late and usually $1 short, and usually several days late. I just had an article drop today that told me that Six Flags Over Georgia on the 24th and the 25th was allowing active duty retired disabled into their park for free with all their family members at half price after that. And again, I got the article today being the 25th. So as you are watching this video, it is gone, over, finished, you lost. So trying to get information before the fact is very difficult. And then, trying to get the information on itself, all by itself, about upcoming events for disabled and programs for the disabled vets, unless you are a wheelchair bound or ALS recipient, then it's just about impossible.
It seems like we need a central clearinghouse for this information, and
Yeah.
because if I was going to Georgia, I would look up what things that I might be able to do along those lines, and like you
Right.
said, to find out in an email after the event's already happened is ridiculous. Why send out the email?
DA Archer says military.com has a good article for I just found about the you're talking about the
Bankruptcy.
thing this weekend because oh, the bankruptcy. Okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
that's
I
where I got
have
that article from.
okay. Yeah, I had military.com opened actually, but I guess I was looking at other articles. But like I said, well, we make a good team. You catch stuff that I miss. But anyway, so what did you find, Belinda? See how I
Well,
toss
I
that to you, and that way
uh,
I don't have to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about.
well, I think we've talked about discounts before, and I think it varies by region. Uh, Companies change their discount programs for veterans all the time. They don't need, there is no law that says they have to publicize them. But some of the more consistent ones that don't change are like Pep Boys. What I found is Pep Boys, Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly Auto Parts, Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube has 25% off. I don't know if that's nationwide, but it has a 25% off military discount with your ID. And
That's
I
not
mean,
bad.
those are always, yeah, those are always helpful. But like I told you, I'm going to go down to the veterans office tomorrow, Tuesday, and see what I can find about how to know what's available for our veterans. Because if you don't sit here and dig and fight around with it, you just don't know what's out there. And
Yeah, Jeff Brandeau says that the thing about the not being able to find the articles on time is like it says like that's like inviting you to a party that happened yesterday.
yeah,
Yeah, you should have come. It was great.
yeah. Oh, you didn't get that invite? Oh, I sent it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I sent it today. What are you talking about?
yeah.
The
Oh
party wasn't
no.
yesterday. I don't. But yeah, I'm going to start making it a mission also, and see if I can find the VA um, other than our clinic, a VA facility here in town, and see if I can find something. But one, excuse me, one that I did find, and this is a directory, so it goes by state, and it says Operation We Are Here, and it's let me move where my bifocals work. Uh, It's a resource for the military community and military supporters. The It says here in the topic, it's free vacations, retreats, and opportunities for military veterans and their families, and it's it's a list of different things that are happening by state, and for example, Armed Services YMCA Camp Pendleton in California. They do a free camping and environmental escape. Um, this one here, you know what? I got to zoom this in because I'm going, what the hell is that say? Yeah, I didn't zoom it in. Oh, look, there are letters written on this page. Wow, look at that. All right. Now, this is one I found interesting, and it's called Band Bees for Vets, Veterans Day Bed and Breakfasts. Um, it's under the, you can look it up under Band, BAND, and then BS for Vets. So Band BS for Vets. Sounds like BS to me. Not right. Okay, it says innkeepers want to say thank you to those who've served their country by inviting veterans to stay in a bed and breakfast on Veterans Day. Inns and bed and breakfasts throughout North America will open their doors to active and retired military and vets and one guest by offering a free room to those who've served in the military. So that one is a good one to look into if you've been thinking about running off to a certain place and you want to get your honey or the one your honey doesn't know about and escape to that one place for one night, then it's something to look into. Don't know if I recommend the latter, but I definitely take the honey.
Yeah, I think that would be frowned upon in most establishments.
Right. I'd like you to meet my wife and girlfriend. And there's only one girl standing there. You know what I'm talking about?
You so bad. But I do think I wish we could. Maybe that's something I can start trying to do is just get a clearinghouse because I'm sure each state promotes their veterans things. But like this bed and breakfast, this is the first time I've heard of it. And that's something,
well, yeah.
I'm sure that would be taken up like that. But that would be something that we would all like to try and participate in. I'm sure, even if it's staying in your own city and just going there.
Yeah.
You know, just something.
Yeah, I mean, just a one night escape with your teddy bear with boobs, and you know that really makes a difference in relationships and stuff. Well, in my case, I would hope your teddy bear doesn't have boobs, but that's
what
just
are you talking about?
Never mind.
Stupid.
My wife, my teddy bear with boobs.
I just not something I heard before.
I know you wouldn't think about that normally, but
I'm not in a million years. Yeah. No, that.
Well, I've been married almost 30 years. I think about it every night. You know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Oh, too much information.
Sorry. Okay, back to the subject at hand. What did you find? Because that's the one I found, and there's a couple other ones on there, but it's like I said, it's each one.
Well, I didn't find much.
Go ahead, because I got one more after you throw yours out there.
I got nothing.
You're still thinking of the teddy bear with boobs thing.
Go on, Alex.
Okay. There's a group here in Florida, and it's called the Black Dagger Military Hunt Club. It's Black Dagger Military Hunt Club Incorporated. It's a nonprofit organization that provides shooting, hunting, fishing, and other outdoor opportunities for veterans and active duty military, wounded and well. So this is a place where you don't have to be a wounded vet or disabled vet or any of that. You can be active duty or in perfect condition. They're located in the greater Tampa Bay area, and they operate around the state. That's their headquarters in the Tampa Bay area. They operate around the state. Many of our volunteers are retired or active duty military with a great deal of tactical and hunting experience. We co-labor with other veterans groups and nonprofits to support those who give their all for our nation. Um, the reason I brought this one up is because they have a program for the disabled, and regardless of disability. Um, okay, we serve veterans recovering from and learning to adjust to life with spinal cord injuries, traumatic brain injuries, loss of sight, part or and post-traumatic stress disorder. We have specialized equipment to accommodate some of the most injured military heroes, thus helping our honored veterans find their new normal. So it's a good place if hunting was your thing or fishing, and now you find yourself unable to do certain things because of disability. They have a program to. I'm guessing they teach you how to do things with your with your liabilities or limitations.
Limitations, yeah.
Common sense with Elizabeth is here. Good to see you. Lioness 61. She is back in the house. Good to see you. Um, so, anyways, do you have anything that you found, or have you were you striking
No,
out on
it's
this
just
one?
it's just redundant. I mean, it's pretty much the same stuff I found last time. But I am going to go to, like I said, Monday or Tuesday to my VA center and see what they have to say,
Right?
and see if there's,
Yeah.
because I use vet ticks for a lot of things, and uh, there's always MWR. They have a lot of information, but it would be nice to find one place that, oh, I'm traveling to Tampa. Maybe I would like to do this, instead of having to hunt and
Right.
peck for it all.
Well, American Joe just joined us. I thank you for joining us, American Joe. I'm always honored to be graced by your presence, or I'm always honored that you're gracing my presence. Anyway, somebody's getting presents anyway. So I brought up one again. I thought I zoomed all these in so I didn't have to sit here and stare at the screen and go, what does that say? But I brought up one because this is right up my alimentary canal. And this is a program called Life Waters. It offers scuba diving and scuba certifications as part of recreational water therapy. A nonprofit organization improves the lives of disabled veterans with decided with decided excuse me with dedicated staff too of volunteers, including spinal cord injury therapists, doctors, nurses, veterans, and civilians. Um, I bring this one up because I've I have not gotten my dive certification, and part of my hesitation to do so is you have the one or dual tanks that go on your back, and there's a waistline strap that has that the tank rests on, and a bracket underneath that. And I have two of the two of the rods that are bolts that are in my back stick right underneath the skin. So if I have weight against them, it pushes them into my vertebrae, which really sucks. So I've been kind of out of the opportunity to dive unless I can do umbilical certification. And apparently, I found a source where I can do this because they offer modified diving programs for people with specific disabilities.
Well, that's nice. I mean, is this one of those things that your doctor has to recommend, or is this just open to anyone, or within
This
our
one,
group?
this one, to my knowledge, is if you have a rating, then
Mhm.
that's what it takes to qualify. So if you are healthy and well, then I would imagine you'd still have to pay for the program. But um, let's see,
That would
what
be
I'm seeing
great.
here is it. Yeah, I'm trying to see. While at the VA therapy appointment, the therapist mentioned scuba diving and then referred Chase to live waters. So that one got referred, but there's contact information for live waters, and the easiest way to do it is to look up livewaters.com, and that would be where you start. That's the page I landed on. Adaptive scuba diving training and certification. This I found their article here under the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, and it's official blog of the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Vantage Point. So you can look it up under Vantage Point through the va.gov, or you can look it up under Live Waters and go directly to the source.
I'd like to know if anybody gets mail from the VA or nonprofits or other groups associated with veterans, like a newsletter. I get my thing once a year, my big book from the VA once a year. But I mean,
Right.
unless I log on to a blog, phrase it right, do all these things, I'm not going to find out. And I really, as much as we're supposed to be paperless, I think I like paper better, and I would
Yeah,
like
well,
it
it sure
mailed.
seems to be something easier to find.
Yeah.
Drop in like it's Scott and Deplorable Bobby are here. Make sure you drop into Deplorable Bobby after my show. He goes live right after me. So good to see you guys. Glad you came. Um, yeah, I mean, it really is hard to find programs, but not only that is they seem to be expiring. Um, they're they're reaching a point, I believe, where the wars have been going on so long they seem to be losing interest, and there's not as much of a drive to help the veterans that are coming back from this kind of thing. It's old conversation. The money is drying up, and the enthusiasm is waning.
Well, I will tell you, we've been out of town a lot the last couple of months and having to stay in
Right.
hotels. And we went to use our veteran discount, and the girl, uh, she was tired of people getting veteran discounts. She just thinks that
That's
that's just too many veterans, and everybody gets a discount but her.
that's insane. I think
Yeah.
what people kind of they forget maybe is that there's still just a hair over 1% of the population that's willing to put on that uniform and willing to come home underneath an American flag for the people that say stupid crap at their places of business. They don't
Yeah.
realize what it takes. I mean, it's pathetic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandra Ann McGibbon said, "What a fool!"
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's these younger people, the ones that we've talked about before, that seem to have, they want everything for free. They don't want to have to work. They want to live in their parents' extra room, shed, backyard, in a tent, something. It's,
Yep.
she was of that age group. And that was
Yeah,
just, but I was good and I behaved and I didn't say anything terrible. So,
they're smarter than you, but too stupid to know anything.
yeah,
That kind of age group.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but here, this is one program that I've always been in favor of. This one is called JOSH, JOSH, and
Hmm.
Just Our Soldiers Helping Incorporated. And that's one program that I've always tried to help out with. This is where they send the care packages to the deployed military. Um, if you guys are looking for a uh, real company to donate to, this is the one because you don't have to donate money to them necessarily. It helps, but the things that they like are like toiletries. Some people may not realize just how much joy you can get out of a roll of Charmin after you've been deployed for several months out in the desert. Um, the most simple things that everybody takes for granted here become absolutely precious cargo in in the field. And this company makes the care packages for the veterans, like toothpaste, toilet paper, um, cologne. I mean, some of the things that you just don't think about here. Then they organize to get it overseas. So
I
go ahead.
I was involved in one once, and they wanted all your hotel soaps, shampoos, those little
Right.
items, and that's what they were asking people to bring. If you have any hotel soap, little items, things like that, to send to forward deployed, they that's what they
Right.
wanted.
Yeah, this one company, Josh, is a top-rated nonprofit. So they've been well vetted. They've been in business for a long time, and it's it's just one of those. If you're looking for a nonprofit to help the military, to help the veterans, this one specifically helps active duty deployed, and the company again is called Josh, Josh. Um, just take into consideration that anyway. If you want to donate to help our soldiers. Um, Now, do you have any other articles, Melinda? We are at our we got 4 minutes left. So, is there anything that you wanted to bring up?
No,
I
but I
feel like
do
I've been doing all
know.
the talking.
I hate to. Well, I do know that a lot of the larger churches have do a lot of things with veterans and for veterans, and they can help people get certain grants for housing if there's been a need. Say they've gone through the Salvation Army, their house burned down or has been destroyed or has been condemned for some reason. That a lot of these
Right,
churches, because of their members, it's not the church itself doing it, it's their members. They're grant writers, lawyers, doctors, Indian chiefs, and a lot of times you can go there and they will help you get back on your feet through a veterans program. And that's always a
right.
good resource for people.
Well, they just released $15 million for grants. I saw that back here somewhere. Um, that was it's just been released for 501c3 mission help programs and nonprofits for veterans issues. Um, I don't remember where I saw that article, but anyway, it's $15 million being released and made available for grants. So if you guys have a nonprofit or you're looking to start one, now's the time to apply for your grants because the money is being allocated. Um, I don't know how they're managing to squeeze the money out of the House with so many Democrats that don't want to fund anything except for their foreign countries. But this one they managed to get squeezed out of them.
Well, there's just a
Thank you
lot out
for
there. There
gracing us.
is no
Thank you.
clearinghouse. And I'm going to look into trying to
So
start something like that. Like I said, I'm going to go down to that office, see what they have to say, and maybe make up a little site to just put, some information into if people are interested.
yeah, well, maybe that's maybe that's something that we can work on and put a link to it in our show here, so that
Yeah.
people can go to a form of a directory, as it were.
Yeah.
Um, with that in mind, other people that are in our chat or that watch the program, um, if you guys come across literature of current events, things that are going to be happening in your region, um, if you could email me or email Belinda, let us know that you have it. We can exchange addresses. You could send that literature to us, and that would help us to get the information out to other people. Um, that's one way we can start getting a little more to the people on what we're doing.
That would be great because we all need to share information. That's what it's about. It's working together, sharing information, working as a tight knit group, and that serves a lot of benefits. That if
Right.
there's ever unrest, you want to know who you're with, and
Yeah, you want
that's
to
what.
have your network.
Yeah, and I know that's what you're creating here.
You might want to set up a little bit. It looks like a talking head sitting down on the blue bar.
Okay.
I mean, that's a great look for you if that was what you were into.
Well, I can't see. I can't see anything,
Oh,
so I don't know.
well, there's your glasses again on top of your head.
Okay. Well,
Um, yeah.
I'm frozen. I haven't been able to see anything. My picture on my end's frozen.
Oh. Oh well. That sucks. But I guess might be best for you anyway. So, but anyway, I think that's going to pretty much button up what we had this week. I hope we got some information out there that helps. But we're going to pursue this veterans programs. That's going to become a mission for us to bring those to light. Uh, Other than that, do you have anything you want to say on your way out, Belinda?
No, sir. Thanks all y'all again for coming on Sunday.
All right, great talk. All right, y'all. Watch for us on Tuesday night. We'll we'll be back on for another episode of the Who Really Owns America, and that'll be going Tuesday night at 7 Eastern, and then Thursday night is the political chat show. And our guest this week will be Drop It Like It's Scott. Drop It Like It's Scott. I will be calling you here shortly. It's 7 Eastern, so definitely get that time slot open. Tell anybody else that needs you on that time that you're there. You will make yourself unavailable. You'll be calling in dead, and you'll be doing my show with me. Um, Other than that, I think that's all we got, y'all. And I appreciate my mods doing their job for us, and everybody for coming by and visiting and hanging out with us for an hour. Gilbert and Belinda, good stream in spite of all the tech hiccups. Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to be the professional tech hiccuper. So that will be my reputation on our shows. But you know what? I'll still keep coming. But Belinda and I will be here no matter what. But anyway, so that's what we got for this Inside Veterans Affairs, and we'll see you guys on Tuesday night. And until then, stay in the fight.